You're bigger than your thoughts. It is not your life circumstances that make you so unhappy or miserable. Most often, it is our thoughts about them. And it is that we just cannot stop thinking. And the doorway into presence, into the now moment, is to observe them, to let them be there and observe them. And maybe you've heard that a million times, or maybe it's the first time you're hearing that. And I invite you to listen once again, because I think we cannot remind ourselves often enough of this. I'm Johanna, by the way. If you're new, welcome. Welcome on the channel. Feel free to like, subscribe, leave a comment. I love to engage with you guys. So first I want to tell you a little story of when I was in my very early 20s, or better, the end of my teens, like 19, 20, whatever. And I was experiencing, now I know, obsessive thoughts. I couldn't stop thinking. All of my attention was in my head and in my thoughts. And I could feel how unpleasant it was. I could feel how it was pulling me in all different directions. And I particularly remember this one evening when my thoughts were making me so crazy that I needed to do 3 things always, at least, at the same time, while I was studying for my exams at that time for university. And it just pulled me in all different directions and I couldn't focus. And I remember talking to somebody on the phone and telling them, like, I cannot stop. It's crazy. My thoughts are just taking me over, and I could sense how unpleasant it was. And shortly after, I had my first spiritual awakening. And now looking back, I can see that I was experiencing obsessive thoughts. And I was fully identified with them. I was fully in it. And there is no judgment, right? Zero. The human journey is an evolution. I don't judge myself for it. So now looking back, I can see how identified at that point I was with the thoughts in my head. How I couldn't stop them, the misery and the suffering that was coming with my thoughts. How even in this unconscious state, I could still see that they were just repeating and that they were basically imprisoning me. And now I know that I am bigger than my thoughts. And you are bigger than your thoughts. You can observe your thoughts. They're just an energy up here in the head. They're not necessarily true. They come and they go. Some are maybe from you, some you picked up along the way, some conditioning from the past, something somebody told you, and then it went into your subconscious mind, and now it's like looping in your head, right? Our thoughts most often are just looping. They're not fruitful thoughts. Because this is the amazing gift of the mind, right? You don't need to demonize your mind. It's beautiful. And it's a gift. But it can get intoxicating when we're imprisoned to our thoughts, when we're possessed by our thoughts, when our thoughts are actually running the show, when they're in charge. And they're just looping all the time. They're obsessive, saying over and over and over again the same thing, right? And it pulls us out of the present moment. Our thoughts are the biggest obstacle to experience the peace, the joy, the freedom that has always been inside of you and just obscured by the filters of our thoughts, our obsessive thoughts. So the door into presence is to be the observer. So important. I remind myself of that all day long. You can step out of thought. You can step out of it and notice that you're bigger than the thoughts. Maybe still let them loop, right? Let them be there. But you can step out of it and realize that these are just thoughts, just in your head, something that comes and that goes. And when we're the observer, a new state of consciousness is being born through us into this world, where we're not fully identified with our thoughts anymore.